Kashket, who gets tackled by Hanley, and then Cantwell picks up possession, gives it to Buendia, who has threaded it through to Pukki. Pukki into the penalty area, good chance for Norwich early on, and Pukki takes it! Inside 3 minutes, Norwich have the lead, and that is vintage Teemu Pukki. A through ball, he races onto it, gets past the last defender. It's a composed finish, and it's Norwich City 1, Wycombe Wanderers 0, and it's Teemu Pukki on the score sheet. It's 1-1, but it's a chance here for Norwich City. Free kick. Buendia and Vrancic over it. It is going to be Mario Vrancic who curls it beautifully into the top corner! Mario Vrancic, for the second time in the space of a few days, has put Norwich in front late in the game at Carrow Road. It's absolute heartbreak for Wycombe Wanderers. They've got into the 90th minute of this game at 1-1 with Norwich City, but Mario Vrancic has just beautifully curled a free kick into the top corner, and no wonder his teammates are leading the applause. Norwich 2, Wycombe 1. What a free kick that is! He's got options up in front of him here, Marco Stiepermann, and he tries to push in Paqueta on the right-hand side. Comes infield here. He's halfway inside the Bristol City half. To Rupp, now it's on to Stiepermann, and there's space opening up for Stiepermann here, halfway inside the Bristol City half. He tries to thread it through to Pukki. He's found him, yes. And Pukki scores! That is a lovely goal from Teemu Pukki. Brilliant pass from Marco Stiepermann, brought into the team today. He managed to thread that ball through the eye of a needle. Pukki takes a touch and then finishes brilliantly. And in the 7th minute, it's Bristol City 0, Norwich City 1. Ball from Gibson into the penalty area. Buendia controls brilliantly, and he scored! What a finish from Emi Buendia! That's a high ball forward from Ben Gibson. Buendia in the penalty area, plucks the ball out of the air superbly, and then finishes with composure, and Norwich get a third before half-time. It's Bristol City 1, Norwich City 3.
A man just going round and over time, and I don't wanna feel your psychic love, and I don't wanna hate you anymore, and then I get away from you, and I don't know now what to do. It's just another passage in the way, it's just another game that I don't play, and it's getting late, and my mind's opaque. I'm in a different dream, I'm in a false sense of reality. I don't wanna leave, 'cause my mind's at ease. Why won't you come and see? Why won't you come on over? A man is going round and over time, and I don't wanna feel your psychic love, and I don't wanna hate you anymore, and it's getting late, and my mind's opaque. I'm in a different dream, I'm in a false sense of reality. I don't wanna leave, 'cause my mind's at ease. Why won't you love me? Why won't you love me?
Lays it off for Buendia. Buendia lovely. Vrancic edge of the penalty area. Through for Pukki. Is this the chance for Pukki? Yes, it is!
Reality, I don't wanna leave, 'cause my mind's at ease. Why won't you love me? Why won't you love me?
Hi, I'm Kenny McLean and you're watching NR1 Live.
And the team bus is arriving as we're sat here in the studio at NR1 Live. There's Emi Buendia scoring his wonder goal at Bristol City. Tim Krul there. Zimmerman back in the squad today. Sorensen, Ben Gibson, Hugo. And of course, Timo Pukki, the man of the moment. There he is. Pukki party. That's how he dances when he's at the Pukki party, apparently. And Rob, take a look at this. You can win a warm-up top signed by Timo Pukki.
That's his own one.
It's his own one. It
Perfect.
stinks. It absolutely stinks of goals.
Of goals.
Mate, here's one for you. A little bit of one for the bingo as well. Number 22, what's it stand for?
Two little ducks.
Good stuff, mate.
Like
Fantastic.
it. Smart.
And here we've got coming up on today's NR1 Live. We've got Darren Huckabee out on the gantry with us. Freezing cold. He's been in the studio already because he wants to come and watch the game in here because he's absolutely freezing. Dean Ashton sat at home in front of the wood fire, so he'll be nice and warm. We've got Kenny McLean giving us a lowdown on his teammates. We've got Goal of the Month coming up. Plus, as I said, your chance to win this Timo Pukki signed training top, warm-up top. It's not signed as yet, so it's going to be fresh. It's going to be fresh. Stinks of goals, mate. Smell it. It's goals, isn't it?
That's
Goals.
all over
Goals, goals, goals. And Rob, of course, mate, 27 years ago today, do you remember what happened on this fateful night?
Mate, it was that night we beat Bayern Munich.
It was. Take a look at this.
Norwich crowd really doing all they can to lift the side, and I think they won that tackle for Jerry Goss. And here's Darren Eadie, just a bit too far ahead of himself. Krupp, though, will find Bowen. One over here, Sutton, Goss, yes! You don't need to ask who scored it. Jeremy Goss, once more the hero of Norwich.
Wow, great
night.
nights, Rob.
What a great night. What a great night.
I'm claiming an assist on that as well. I lost the ball in the final
Bad
third.
touch.
Well, no, it was set up to be tackled. It was all part of the
I'll
plan.
give it you.
And do you know what? I get a lot of people, and NR1 Live, and particularly on social media, asking me about, did you keep the shirt? Have you still got the shirt? Well, here's proof. There it is. There it is.
Great
And if you
moment
look
for that.
close enough, that's me at the bottom there. And guess who's next to me?
Go on.
Just a World Cup winner, Lothar Matthäus.
Can't buy them, mate. Can't buy them memories.
You can't, but you know, looking back on it, we talked about the away game, but that night here at Carrow Road, I mean, a lot of people saying that was the loudest they've ever heard Carrow Road. The expectations going into that, we didn't believe that we were probably going to get through the tie anyway, did we?
No, so obviously we went there and like they were wounded because we came away 2-1 in their stadium. So for them to come here, obviously they were looking to get one over on us, and we conceded after about 4 minutes. So you're thinking, wow, this is going to be a tough night, long night as well. But Gossi scored again, came up trumps again, like you know what I mean, and it was a fantastic night. And like you say, I think it was only about 17,000 people there. Yeah. But still speak to people today, that is the loudest they've ever heard Carrow Road. You mean what a great night.
Yeah, and it's been great for Norwich in the last few games for them. On a great run at the moment, Rob.
Yeah, no, you mean we've said all along. You mean like 3 games against the lesser clubs, they 9 points out of 9 could do no better. You know what I mean? And then like you draw at Brentford, again a bit fortunate, but hey, listen, it's a point at one of their rivals. And then I think going to Bristol City were the toughest test of the season so far, and they've gone and then completely blown Bristol City away. And like I say, what a great situation they are now. 13 points out of a possible 15. 2 of their rivals to come, one tonight Millwall and one again on Saturday Swansea. What a great position to be in.
And you mentioned Bristol City, your former club, of course.
Former club.
Here's the highlights from the weekend.
there's space opening up for Steeperman here, halfway inside the Bristol City half. He tries to thread it through to Pukki. He's found him, and Pukki scores! That is a lovely goal from Teemu Pukki. And in the 7th minute, it's Bristol City 0, Norwich City 1. Still inside his own half, right-footed, but left back at the moment, Sorensen. He plays that one forward, and it's a great ball, and he's got Pukki in the penalty area again!
2-0.
And Pukki scores again! What a pass this time from Sorensen! Shocking start from Bristol City, but can they respond? They're on the attack now on the left-hand side. They've got the ball in the Norwich penalty area for the first time. Shot comes in and Krul makes the save. The rebound is played across. There's a real chance here and it's in! And Bristol City have got one back and it's Hunt. Corner, played in dangerously, headed down by Martin. Great save from Krul. And then Wells can't react to the follow-up. He was offside anyway. That is a stunning piece of goalkeeping from Tim Krul. High ball from Gibson into the penalty area. Buendia controls brilliantly, and he scored! What a finish from Emi Buendia! That's a high ball forward from Ben Gibson. Buendia in the penalty area, plucks the ball out of the air superbly, and then finishes with composure. And Norwich get a third before half-time. It's Bristol City 1, Norwich City 3. And Norwich emerged with it. High ball forward from Bristol City. Chance hasn't gone yet. Callas heads it down. Won't quite fall for Wells. It comes back for Callas, who's gone down in the area. That's going to be a penalty. It's clumsy defending from Sorensen. Tim Krul, who's got a good record from penalties in recent times. Can he keep the 3-1 scoreline? Oh, what a miss! Naki Wells went to try the Panenka, and Krul dived out of the way, but Wells chipped it over the bar.
A brilliant result, Rob. We said a few times on NR1 Live about how playing teams like Bristol City have actually opened up for Norwich to play better against them because they play a different style of football. They're not coming and parking the bus, they're having a go at Norwich, which gives, position and space for people like Emi Buendia there.
Yeah, no, absolutely. You mean, like, say, they weren't compact, like as you say, those balls Steeperman played and Sorensen played, the games against lesser teams here or away, they're not going to be able to play that because they're so deep and so compact. They're difficult to play long balls, so they're having to play little tippy-tappy triangles and whatever. But nonetheless, saying that, they were two fantastic balls from Sorensen and Steeperman to start with and Pukki. And I think at the start of the season, Pukki might not have scored those goals, but he scored a great goal against Wycombe, and you just sense, is he getting his touch back? Is he getting his touch back?
Is it about getting the touch back, or is it about actually having the service and getting the right type of service to him to make sure he can score those goals? Because he's not had a great deal of chances.
No, he's been feeding off of scraps, really, and like I say, he hasn't had that many chances over the last few games. But for someone who performed really well last time they were in the Championship and whatever, like, those were two fantastic. A, he made space. Yeah. B, he made a run. He got, picked out by a fantastic ball by Steeperman and Sorensen, but then he had to touch, control and finish. You know what I mean? So that shows that he has got the ability, which we never doubted, but the confidence is back as well.
An instinctive centre-forward play. And he's only now 2 goals away from equaling a record set by Darren Huckabee and Martin Peters, and just so happened to have Darren Huckabee with us on the gantry tonight, Hucks. Now, Pukki's only 2 goals away from your record for scoring goals to Norwich. How are you feeling? A bit nervous tonight? Do you hope he gets a couple?
He's got a good chance on it, to be honest. It's only 2, so like I say, I got 48, so he's done all right in a limited number of games.
And looking at the way he's gone back into this at the moment, Hucks, he seems to be, all centre-forwards need service, but Steeperman stepped back into the side tonight and in the last couple of games, and he's given in that service, and that's vital for a player like Teemu Pukki.
Yeah, it does seem that he does link up well with Steeperman. Steeperman always looks for him, little through balls. I did think Bristol City were pretty poor at the back, to be honest. The 3 centre-halves struggled to deal with balls going through them all the way through. So it's going to be interesting to see what Millwall do if they play 3 at the back. How difficult it is for us to slip them balls through.
And talking about Millwall, as you've done there, Huck, so they've got a few players that are danger, aren't they? We're used to seeing them being physical and quite tough as a team, but they've got a bit more to them than that.
Yeah, I think they've kind of changed a little bit. Obviously, Jed Wallace is probably their most attacking player, can score goals, can beat people and get the ball in the box. But they're also a big threat from set pieces, especially with 3 centre-halves at the back. You can send an extra man up, so it's going to be interesting to see how we deal with them because we're not very good at dealing with set pieces. We do zonal marks still, and sometimes we get caught out. So it's a big test for us today.
And a tough defence to break down as well. They've got 2 central defenders that were named in the team of the month, the Championship team of the month. So it's going to be difficult for Norwich to try and break them down tonight.
Yes, sometimes when teams play 3 at the back, it's usually because 2 of the centre-halves aren't good enough and they need an extra player there. So it's been interesting to see how we break them down today. Are they just going to sit there and play, let the balls play in front of them, wait for Buendia to try and play little through balls? So it's up to us to try and get at them as quick as we can and get the space in behind them and get Pukki running on the ball again.
And do you buy into the theory that it has been easier to play against teams like Bristol City because they are a team that's going to actually go at you rather than sitting back like we've seen in previous games at Carrow Road?
I don't know, we've spoke about this before, with our attacking players, Buendia, Todd Cantwell, Adam Ida, Pookie, Steeperman, we've got more than enough to beat any team in this league, so we've just got to be confident, and especially with no fans, it's normally the best team against the best team, so it's up to us to impose ourselves on other teams, and with our attacking players, we should have too much for anybody in this league.
And you look at Steeperman as well, how he's come back into the side, and we talk about the goals that he set up for Timo Pukki. He breaks those lines really quick, doesn't he? Sometimes Norwich can play a lot of intricate football in front of that back four, but what he does, he actually he moves the ball quickly, he gets into those positions, and he drives through. And Timo Pukki knows to make his run because Steeperman will find it. And he's not a traditional number 10, is he really? No,
he obviously is a big lad. He's strong. He can run with the ball pretty well. Probably not technically as good as Buendia or Todd Cantwell in that role, but he does tend to look forward, after one or two passes. And like I say, it must be frustrating sometimes for Timo Pukki, making run after run. And sometimes, Buendia wants to have too many touches, Todd Cantwell wants to have too many touches. So sometimes it's nice if you're a centre forward just to make the run and get the ball first time.
And you talk about, we've talked about Plaqueta a lot on this show, about his raw pace he's got, Hux. In a race back in the day, me, you or him, who's the fastest?
Well, I know for a fact I'll be coming out on top, then it's between you and him for second and third.
Appreciate that. But look, Hux, enjoy the game. We'll speak to you soon.
Enjoy the warmth, boys.
Thanks, mate. Cheers. Oh, yeah, I'm not having that. What would you reckon, me or Hux?
No, I'd say Hux.
Oh, come on.
I'd say Hux, mate. I wouldn't even get close to that range, would I?
Yeah, you time it. You set the time on the sideline. Okay, well, here's the lineup for Norwich on to tonight's match against Millwall. I think we've got this coming up now for you. There we go, Tim Cross. Unchanged, actually, from the weekend. No surprises there. Todd Cantwell not involved because he picked up, I think, an ankle injury in training. So he's missing from the bench there, as we can't see him. But looking at that team again, when you've played like that against Bristol City, there's no reason to change anything, is there?
Not at all. Like I say, the way they played on Saturday, was really, really good, and they deserve another chance and whatever. I think you look at that, but you look to the right and the substitutes as well. That's a strong bench as well now. There's no Josh Martins. I know they've got potential, and Adam Ida's obviously suspended and whatever, but they are all experienced pros on that bench now, which goes to show that the injuries are going away and whatever, the team's doing well. As when the team's doing well, everyone wants to be part of it. So that is a solid squad there. Yeah, and Enemy
Buendia, we've been very critical of him in the past at times, but he's shown the quality he's got, hasn't he? Because he is a massive threat going forward. But again, is it playing against teams like a Bristol City where they will come at you a little bit, give him a little bit more space? Is he more of a threat in a game like that than he is when somebody comes and parks the bus? Because he's probably not got that physical presence in a game like that. Is he worthy of actually dropping him in and out of games? Could be, but like I say, what Darren has just said there, we have got good players like that, regardless of whether you're playing an open and expansive team or against a team that parks the bus. This guy here, we've been critical of him. We've never been critical about him, about his technical ability. We all know how good he is on the ball and his technical ability. What we don't like is sometimes his work ethic out of possession. His petulance, giving fouls away, getting sent off needlessly. Having too many touches in the final third. But is that a case of a manager then and his teammates almost having to turn a little bit of a blind eye to that because what he does offer going forward? Because any player in any team, a Timo Pukki, or if I'm playing that, I want him in my side because he will find you with a pass, he will create things. It's all that a little bit of actually, I've got to put up with that other stuff. Yeah, I know, but this guy will either win you a match or he'll lose you a match. And sometimes it's a manager's nightmare, but sometimes it's a manager's delight. There's got to be a place in the team for Emi Buendia for the majority of the season. Every time he's fit, you've got to play someone like Buendia because we know he can play that pass. We know he can control the ball, pick it out of a 40, 50-yard pass out of the sky. Basically, he is the one that's delivering those passes. But when you see Steeperman do it, like Darren again just said, he got it, he passed it. Would Buendia have got that ball and passed it straight away, or would he have try and run, beat someone for 10 yards, and then all of a sudden it closes down? It's decision making on the ball. Sometimes that's not right. Different qualities. Absolutely. And we've talked a lot about number 10s tonight, and probably one of Norwich's best ever number 10s, I would argue. Dean Ashton's on the line with us now. Even though, how long did you play for us, Dino? It's only played for about a season, didn't you? And you're still considered one of the best.
Just a year, yeah.
That's all you needed to do. But you're a number 10. That was the number you wore because that was the number you liked. But actually, you were a very traditional number 9, you would say.
I was, but I was always crying out to be more of a number 10. I always wanted to be more of a playmaker, even despite my size. I didn't want to get involved in the physical side of the game, but obviously I had to. I like to try and drop deep at times and try and create as well as score goals. So that's, I think, part of me always wanted to be a number 10.
Yeah, and looking at the team Norwich got at the moment and the players they've got, and you look at, we're just talking about Buendia and Stiepermann, they offer something very different from that same role as a number 10. What kind of, as a player as you are, which one do you prefer to see in the team? Do you like a Stiepermann or do you like to see a Buendia?
Personally, it's interesting because I think if you were to ask Pukki, I think he would say Stiepermann, because I think he knows that when he makes that one run, and sometimes as a striker, it's about playing with players that you know the minute you make that run that they're going to look for you and find you. I think the ball that he played in against Bristol City was just unbelievable, and it's exactly what you want as a striker, that you make just half a movement, you know it's coming, you've got that edge, and he could just one touch and finish. Whereas Buendia, I think Hooks was talking about it as well, and Rob, you were saying about it, it's that sort of not quite sure when he's going to deliver, not quite sure, he always plays on the edge, but at the same time, you know, he has got that quality to win you a game. And also in a really, really tight game, like I think this will be tonight, I think when Buendia then gives you the edge, last season, Stiepermann was so far out of his depth, it was unbelievable. Physically, he couldn't get on the ball enough. Whereas I think in this league, I think Stiepermann shines because he's got that physicality in this league, but he hasn't got really sort of athletic people around him, and he can probably shine better in this division.
And this is probably the first time this season, at this period they're going through now, they've actually managed to get Buendia, Stiepermann and Pukki all in the same side together when they were so successful in the Championship. So is that key for Norwich? That you can't just have a Buendia, you can't just have a Stiepermann, you need a bit of both to give you that something different?
Yeah, because I think, especially in this league, you're going to come up against a lot of teams. They know how Norwich play now. They're going to sit deep. They're going to make it difficult, and you have to give yourself different options. And as Rob just said a second ago, I was listening, you know, it's about that squad depth, isn't it? You look now and you think, yeah, we've got players on the bench that can come and make a difference, that can actually change maybe the way we play. I think Vrancic is a totally different player as well in that midfield. So I think they've got a better squad now, I would say, than they did at the start of the Premier League season. And
that's the key, isn't it? You know, it's going to be a long, long season for them. And, you know, we're going to talk to you again at half-time, Dino, so enjoy the first half and we'll come and chat to you back then. But, Rob, that's a vital point he's making there, isn't it? And you've made as well, about this squad depth that they seem to have now. As much as they talked about they've lacked a little bit central defence and letting some players go, you look at, you've just said, that squad, that's a big squad, isn't it?
Well, you've got cover for a centre-half. If you need someone to come on and be aggressive, you've got Kenny McLean. If you need someone to come on and put one in the top corner from a free kick, you've got Vrancic, who's done it. You know what I mean, already this season. That's three there. You know what I mean? Like I say, it's a great position to be in. You know what I mean? The team is sort of like such on a buoyant wave at the moment. It's fantastic. Everyone wants to be part of it. And like I say, that whole squad is going to be important, not only tonight, but the next few games, because they're all going to be involved.
Yeah, and we've got a bit of a competition going up here. I'm the producer in my ear is just going to tell me which competition it is, because if we had so many, Joe, which one is it? Okay, it's the Pukki one again. It's the Pukki. Rob, you grab it for me this time.
I'll grab it, mate.
Here we go.
There you go.
Pukki shirts. Here it is.
Ooh.
Can you name the City player who scored the 90 plus 2 minute equaliser before Timo Pukki's 90 plus 7 minute winner against Millwall in the 2018 campaign? Make sure you tweet your answers to us, please, to NR1 Live at Norwich City, and use the hashtag NR1 Live, and you can win this beautiful. What colour would you call that? Aqua.
Aqua. We'll go aqua.
Peppermint.
No, we'll go aqua. Aqua.
And look, looking at Millwall tonight, they've got some threats in there. Look, they're a team that finished pretty well last season. They sit one place behind Norwich in 7th. They're a decent side, aren't they? And Gary Rowett's got them firing all cylinders this season. And do you know what? Gary Rowett's a manager to me. He seems like he won't try and force his system the way he likes to play upon his players. He looks at the group of players he's got to play, and then picks a system to suit them.
Yeah, I think he's done the rounds as a manager in and around the Championship and whatever. And I think, you know, I mean, his quality is like undoubted to me. Like, you know what I mean? And I think what he's got here now is a side that have got everything. They've got technical ability, but they've got aggression as well. You know what I mean? And like you say, they've started really well this season. And this will be a tough game for Norwich tonight. I mean, not only will Norwich stand up to them, I think, in a technical manner, but they will also be aggressive. And like Huck said, if they play three centre-halves, are big old boys, like, you know what I mean, and set pieces, they could be a major threat. In Norwich, as Huck said again, Norwich have struggled from set pieces, so they need to be strong tonight.
Yeah, and we've got a key matchup for you as well. It's Grant Hanley, and Jed Wallace here. It'd be interesting to see how this one pans out tonight, because obviously Grant was in the team of the week last week in terms of his performance as central defender, and Jed Wallace is obviously scoring goals. So, how do you see this one working out?
It's tough. Like I say, Grant's going to have to made a mistake against Wickham in the last home games, but obviously got that out of his system from Saturday's game. But he's going to be massive there tonight, you know what I mean, in terms of defending. Jed Wallace seems to be a midfielder that likes to get forward beyond the centre forwards as well, and a great goal scoring record for a midfielder as well. So that could be a case of Skip or Rupp not letting him go. You know what I mean? Because they're going to be running past him.
Is that more difficult as a central defender yourself, a player that's coming from deeper, because you're not sure when he's going to be coming and when you should then take over the responsibility of picking him up?
Communication is massive. I mean, we always said, like, you know what I mean, if I was centre half and a midfielder ran, the midfielder stays with him until he gets a shout from the defender, or the midfielder knows that the defender is going to take him. If you don't get no shout, or you got any doubt in your mind, you go with him all the way. You know what I mean? And like I say, and if someone like a Wallace makes runs from midfield like he must do to score them goals, someone's got to take responsibility for that.
Yeah, and just looking at Tim Krul again, we have to talk about him again, how good he's been. And I was talking about this during the week in my programme notes about how it's vital as a central defender. If you've got a good goalkeeper behind you, you make those correct decisions as a defender. If you're not quite sure about your goalkeeper, sometimes you make the wrong decisions. But at the moment, when you know you've got that behind you, everything seems to go well for Norwich.
Yeah, you know, we were fortunate to have Gunny behind us, like, you know what I mean. And as a defence, to have a goalkeeper that is sort of like so commanding in his own area, you know what I mean, and the protection of his goal. And Tim Krul is certainly that at the moment. You know what I mean, we saw how well he played at Brentford the other day, and we said, like, listen, he earned that point. You know what I mean, he's as important as Teemu Pukki scoring 2 goals on Saturday. That double save he made there was fantastic. He didn't know he was offside. No. He had to make the save. And, you know what I mean, the superlatives we've been saying about Tim Krul is just carrying on. You know what I mean? He's such an integral part of this team.
No, he really is. And we always like to hear from the teammates as well. And this time it's the turn of Kenny McLean, who's going to give us a lowdown on his teammates.
I would have to go probably Emi Bunzia. He's got plenty of quality. Oh, it's a tough one. Todd Cantwell. Strongest second to me would be Grant Hanley. Quickest is Shimmick. He's outrageous. There's not many in there. I think I'll go, let's go Sam Byram. Biggest moaner, Max Aarons does not show up. I've had some fun times with Steepy in the past. New boys, Jordan and Ben, good introductions to the changing room, so there's a few. Alex Setti. Lost fashion sense, hands down, Christoph Zimmerman. Again, I'll go Alex Tay. Probably who looks after herself most like that has got to be, with the Barnet, Mario Vrancic.
And congratulations to Kenny McLean and Grant Hanley being called into the Scotland squad for the upcoming internationals. You know, that's a great achievement for them, as much as they're playing well in the club football, to get your international call-ups as well, Rob.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And he was the one that scored the winning penalty in the playoffs for Scotland before they're going, I think it's Serbia, I think they're playing. But that guy, I think, epitomises, like, he doesn't seem to be a problem if he's not in the team, although he's not happy not being in the team, but he just gives us all, you know what I mean, every time he's on that pitch. We said like in the Premier League games after lockdown, you know what I mean, he was the one that was really getting stuck in, and he cared about it, and he looks as though he cares about the club, and he looks a fantastic professional.
Talk about him, you talk about him as a professional and tough and strong as the Scottish way seems to be, doesn't it? They've got a little bit about them, you know, they don't mind the cold. Let's have another little look at Kenny McLean. Has he got a hot water bottle there with him? I think he has. There's look, a blue hot water bottle at the side of him. Huh? It's a cold night in Norfolk, isn't it? Talking about gritting the roads tonight and all sorts wrong.
No, absolutely, but don't get me wrong, this is a perfect night for football. No wind, the pitch, can't see no mud on that pitch. Yeah, I mean, it is like A1. So, like I say, this is a good game because Norwich, if they can win this one tonight, it sort of like gives them more space between them and their opponents, but it gets them closer to the top as well.
And it's always good to look about games when we've played previous teams like Millwall before. Here's a little flashback.
Got a free kick here just inside the Norwich half. Williams hits it diagonally towards the edge of that Norwich penalty area. There's a free header across from Cooper here. Elliott heads it down, and that is 1-0 to Millwall, and it is so simple, and it was exactly what Daniel Farke warned his team about before this game. The ball goes to Onel Hernandez on the left-hand side. Skillfully turns away here from Hutchison and sets Steepman racing away on the left-hand side from the byline. Finds Pukki, and that's it! 1-0 from Norwich City. Pukki's first chance of the game, and he's not missing those. The form he's in at the moment. Who brings it towards the penalty area. Aaron's with a chance to cross. Oh, it's cleared by Millwall as far as Norwich Lightner, who will shoot. What a strike! From Norwich Lightner! Wow, 20 yards beyond the goalkeeper into the corner of the net. There's more hesitancy in the back from Norwich. It's 2-2. Oh, Paul's thrown it straight out to the Millwall player Wallace. What a mistake that is. Jed Wallace comes forward, finds Morrison, back to Jed Wallace, who scores! And Millwall have gone 3-2 up here. Just 4 minutes after they went 2-1 down, they've completely turned it round. Back to Buendia, who accelerates, rolls it into the area. Jordan Rhodes is onside. Jordan Rhodes scores! Jordan Rhodes, the substitute, taps it in. Norwich City 3, Millwall 3. Closer now. Halfway inside the Millwall half, lays it off for Buendia. Buendia, lovely. Branchett, judge of the penalty area. Through for Pukki. Is this the chance for Pukki? Yes, unbelievable. Pukki makes up for that missed penalty. He has scored in the 7th minute of stoppage time. And it's Norwich 4, Millwall 3.
Well, it can't help but put a smile on your face, that game, can it? 1-1 with 10 minutes to go and ends up 4-3. I was on co-com to Chris Gorham that night as well, and I don't think I've ever seen anything like it in such a short space of time, in 10 minutes, from 1-1 to 4-3.
I know, it was incredible, but like interesting to see there. Jed Wallace scored the 3rd goal. You know what I mean? Like we said about him going forward. Pukki scored the goal at the end there as well, and they're both on the pitch tonight. So hopefully one can do it, and that guy's in yellow.
Yeah, hopefully. And we've got Dan Huckabee just quickly again before they. Actually, I don't know if you saw the big brave Scottishman we've got playing for us, Kenny McLean. He had a hot water bottle.
I can't blame him. I wish you'd have got me one. Not even a cup of tea. Can't believe it.
To be fair though, mate, you look pretty warmed up in there. You're welcome to come in and watch the game with us.
Social distancing. You've got to be careful nowadays.
Good man, that's the answer we wanted. Thanks, mate. We'll speak to you soon. And the teams are on their way out, Robin. Yeah, big game for Norwich tonight. Get another win. It's a fantastic game for them.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Like we said, you mean where they are now. You know, what I mean, like I say, 5 games, 13 points out of 5 is fantastic. Like next 2 games are against their opponents that are going to be their rivals at the end of the season. If they can get another 6 points there, it would be fantastic.
Yep, absolutely brilliant as always, Rob. We'll see you at half time. Enjoy the first half.
been swimming at night. She been calling on me. Hold my breath in the pool, but she been underwater in the Indian Sea. I've been doing it right. Can't forget what she said. When you're finished with you, babe, you should come and find me in the Sea of Cortez. The weight of my heart is the weight of the sea. She been living a dream. There's a blanket of cool water. She been cultivated in the space in between. Could be chasing a ghost, another crease in the waves.